It's Thursday, July 13th, 2023. A lot to talk about today. Make sure to like, subscribe, share this video. But I want to start with this today. About 4 or 5 people made some comments on yesterday's video, and it really triggered these 4 or 5 people. And so I want to kind of respond to that. And it's amazing that people would be triggered by wanting to do a background check on people that are working for you, people that are watching your children, people that you may be in a relationship with, somebody you might be doing business with. And people thought that, well, that's really judging. You're judging people if you're doing a background check on somebody. So I'm going to trigger some people again today, the same 4 or 5 people, I'm sure. But I have to ask you this. First off, let me be clear. If people want to do what they want to do, they can do whatever they want to do. To me, I'm pretty much a libertarian. As long as it's not affecting me, have at it. Do whatever you want as long as you're not breaking the law. Once it begins to affect me, then I'm going to have to judge somebody. For instance, let's just say that your babysitter comes over and she reeks of weed or alcohol. And she's going to watch your kids while you and your wife go to a dinner and movie, and you're going to be gone for 4 hours. Would you not judge that babysitter by smelling the weed and the alcohol on her breath? Would you not be judging her? Would you leave your kids with her? You would have to make a judgment call right then and there. If your kid is taking batting practice from a batting coach, and you find out that this dude had a conviction for doing bad things to kids, would you not judge this person? Would you just say, oh, here, let me drop off Bobby, go to your private batting class? Would you as a parent drop your child off with somebody that you had knowledge was assaulting kids? Absolutely not. At least I wouldn't. I think most of you wouldn't. But I guess there would be some people out there because they don't want to be thought of as judging somebody. So they would drop their child off with somebody who hurts kids, or they would allow a babysitter under the influence of alcohol and drugs to watch their kids, I guess, because they don't want to be considered judgmental. Ladies and gentlemen, wake up. To these 4 or 5 people, I feel sorry for you. I feel more sorry if you have kids and that you're not looking out for your kids. At some point in life, the reality is you're going to have to be judgmental. If you hear some noises, it's Nugget. She's in a deep, deep nap right now, snoring. But if I was to take her to a kennel and drop her off while I was out of town for the weekend and look like I was handing her over to some meth head, do you think I would do that? You think I would look at this person and judge them? Hey, this person is a meth head. There's no way I'm letting little Nugget stay here for the weekend. Not going to happen. So it's hard for me to understand people like this. I think about how many women might be alive today. There was another story a couple days ago that came out where this woman's boyfriend killed her and her entire family. How many women would be alive today if they actually did a background check with the person they were in a relationship with? What if you found out the person you're dating had multiple assaults, assaulting multiple women in their lifetime? You think that's a good person to be dating? I don't. Somebody's history, somebody's track record does kind of tell you who they are today. I don't judge everybody on who they, just on their past, okay? But at some point, you look at like a bank. A bank is going to judge you on your past. Do you have judgments, liens? Did you bounce on your mortgage payments? Did you not? Did you just leave the keys and leave the house to the bank? I mean, banks are going to look at your track history. So at some point, you have to judge people a little bit on their history and their actions. But again, to these people, I don't understand these people that think that, oh, this is illegal. I should be in jail because I did a background check. Let me tell you something. When you get hired, when you go for a job, they're going to do a background check. You want to be a real estate agent, background check. You want a CCW, background check. Most of your life is already on social media. But these people go, oh, this should be illegal. You should be in jail. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is all public information. Your tax liens, your judgments, your DUIs, your restraining orders, your assaults, your bankruptcies, it's all public information. Right now, I can pull up 10 services right now that will do a background check on anybody, and it'll take about 60 seconds. And you can look at somebody's entire history, you know, from their bankruptcies to their judgments to how many tax liens they have to how many assault charges, DUIs, felonies, misdemeanors, you name it. Now, I think if you're going to have somebody watching your kids, if you're going to have somebody close to your family, you're going to be in business with somebody, you're going to be taking advice from somebody, you better be knowing who you're dealing with. You want to be taking advice from somebody that has multiple tax liens, multiple judgments, sued by their employers, restraining orders. Do you want to take advice from people who've been evicted, who've had their cars repossessed? Look, everybody's made a mistake. Everybody's had, I'm sure, an incident in their past. But you're looking for a trend. When people have multiple issues of liens and judgments and bankruptcies and firings and assaults and restraining orders and arrests and misdemeanors and etc., you've got a problem. Again, everybody makes a mistake, but when this becomes a trend, then you better be very, very careful who you're doing business with, who you're listening to, and who you're letting in your life. But I just wanted to clarify that. I know that probably triggered the same 4 or 5 people, but that's too bad. This is my show. I'll talk about what I want to talk about. But comment down below. If you knew somebody was hurting kids, would they be babysitting your kids today? Would they be tutoring your kids today? Would they be giving them baseball lessons? Would you be dating somebody right now that you knew had assaulted people in their past and was arrested for it, had restraining orders? Comment down below. Love to know your thoughts. Another thing I want to respond to is, and look, you know, people will write and tell me, JB, don't let this get to you. Don't let the trolls get to you. They don't get to me. They don't get to me. But it's something that that we should all talk about, because they bring up a question, they bring up points, and I just want to acknowledge and respond to it. And I have no ill will. I'm not criticizing these people. I'm just trying to make a point. And you can believe whatever you want. I'm going to believe what I want. But I'm going to do whatever I can to make sure that people in my family are not victims, Nugget's not a victim, people that I love are not victims, because we do our due diligence. That's just it. But so nobody's getting to me. I don't look at it as taking it personal or anything like that, but these are things that I just want to talk about and clear the air so that everybody has a clear understanding where I'm coming from. Now, somebody said that I've been talking about doom and gloom for years, and I want to clarify this. I've only reported the truth for, I don't know, I've been doing this for about 6 years. And this same person said, everything's fine, the stock market is up. Now, I literally laughed about that, because the stock market is not the U.S. economy. Most people today are not having a better life or a better standard of living because the stock market is up. Now, the markets are up today. I don't know, markets closed a little while ago. I believe they were all up across the board. But is your life any better today because the stock market was up? Because I see big trouble. But to this individual, now I'm a statistical type of person. I look at data, I look at the facts, and just to take a few minutes here, let's just go over where we're at. Stock market up, okay, great. It should be for the trillions of dollars that have been injected into it and all the buying by the Fed. But let's look at the truth here. Why are we $32.5 trillion in debt right now? Now, stock market's up today, but we're falling deeper and deeper into debt, almost $33 trillion of debt. U.S. debt to GDP, 122.8% and climbing. Interest on debt, $616 billion, ladies and gentlemen. Do you think that's healthy? Do you think that that's a healthy economy? Debt per taxpayer, $253,000. That's what each taxpayer now owes to cover this debt. Student loan debt, $1.8 trillion. That's $40,000 per student. Credit card debt, $1.3 trillion. That's $7,773 per cardholder. U.S. trade deficit, a little bit over $1 trillion. Deficit with China, $301 billion. Does this sound good to you? Median home price, $427.9 thousand. Median income, $35.9 thousand. This is why the housing market will crash, why it is unsustainable, because you cannot have people making $35,000 a year when the median new home is almost $430,000 a year. This is absolutely out of control. Living in poverty, 42.9 million people in America living in poverty now. U.S. unfunded liabilities, $192 trillion. How about this? We all know this. 42% of this country does not even have $400 saved up. Again, to this individual who I think is very, very ignorant because they're just looking at the stock market being up. And then, of course, the stock market will plunge again, and then they'll hide back in their holes and not say anything. But please wake up. I don't want to see you get hurt. I really don't. I don't want to see anybody get hurt here. People now using buy now, pay later plans to cover grocery costs. We talked about that yesterday. Do you think in a booming economy, people would be financing their groceries right now? Do you think car repos would be around $15,000 a day right now if the economy was booming? Savings rate, 4.6%. The average is 8.82%. Now it's 4.6%. People cannot save money. People are so in debt. Here's another one today coming from Yahoo Finance. Dollar's epic drop. If the dollar does not stabilize, I believe it was down again today. We had a nice day with gold, with silver, Bitcoin way up. Everything was up today. Everything's fine, ladies and gentlemen. Everything's fine. Nothing to see here. But the dollar is dropping. And if it does not stabilize soon, I think that it's going to be a problem because we buy all those foreign goods that come off those ships. That's all bought in US dollars. If the dollar weakens, you got to spend more dollars. And we're seeing oil now ticking up. Oil today, I believe, was a little bit over $78 a barrel. We could see oil get back up over $100 a barrel. And what does that mean for inflation? Everything shipped by a boat, by train, by truck, by plane. That means the cost of everything on those shelves is going to go up. It means the cost at the pump is going to go up. And you could see another wave of inflation. A weakening dollar means that you're probably going to see inflation because it's going to take more dollars for oil, more dollars to buy those goods from overseas. And remember, we don't really ship anything overseas. We buy from overseas, and we have a weakening dollar. So hopefully it stabilizes, ladies and gentlemen, because if it doesn't, we're going to see prices continue to rise. Bloomberg, the spike in homelessness in U.S. cities isn't slowing down. Again, this is another reflection of the economy. But hey, the stock market is up today, but also we're seeing more families on the streets now. Not just individuals, families are hitting the streets. The number of people in families experiencing homelessness jumped 38% this year in 20 major U.S. cities. This, ladies and gentlemen, is alarming. And they can tell us today that we're out of the woods. Inflation now isn't even an issue. Everything's fine. Go back to what you're doing. Everything's back to normal. We're watching families and people at an alarming rate, a record rate, hitting the streets in this booming economy. I was reading an article this morning from the economiccollapse.com, Michael Snyder's site, and this article, if you get a chance, check it out. It's titled, "The Mainstream Media is Not Telling You the Truth About Inflation." It says here, CPI right now is 3% higher in June of 2023 than it was in June of 2022. And that sounds like wonderful news. We're going to get back to 2%. Everything's fine. Everything's, what the Fed is doing is working. It's wonderful. But it's imperative to realize, it says, that the formula used for CPI has literally been changed dozens of times over the decades. If you believe inflation, ladies and gentlemen, is under control, I truly pray for you. I hope that you wake up out of your coma. I hope that you begin to get help, because inflation is not under control. You know that. Any normal person understands that, because you just went to the store. You went to the grocery store. You went to Walmart. You went to the dollar store. Nothing's even $1 at the dollar store any longer. You all know prices are continuing to go up. Yes, big screen televisions and washers and dryers and airline fares are down, but quite literally everything else is up. I'm asking everybody today, comment down below, please, every one of you, comment down below and let me know, do you believe inflation is under control? Is it? I believe it's more oppressive now than ever before. But I want to know what you think. And nobody's gonna, don't judge anybody. Just, you know, let us know. Maybe you live in an area where it's just much better. But I want to know. We all want to know. Are you seeing at least an improvement? Let us know what you are seeing. Do you believe inflation is under control? It seems to me every month the cost of living just continues to go up. U.S. families are under so much financial stress that they're cutting back, it says here, on toilet paper, toothpaste, laundry detergent, going back to school items. We talked about that yesterday. They're cutting back. In fact, going back to school items, they're predicting will be down 10% this year compared to last year. We pumped so much money into the economy in such a short period of time, and now we've caused so much inflation. I don't believe that it's going to be this easy to just get it under control. But if they tell you enough times, you'll go in and pay $12, $10 for a pound of hamburger, and you'll believe everything's okay. I think that some people are that easily duped that they'll pay twice as much to live, but as long as the television, the person in that suit on that television wearing glasses tells you everything's good and inflation's back to normal or going down, you'll believe it. I'm a realist, ladies and gentlemen, and I know how much money leaves my wallet when I go to the store, when I order something, when I go out to eat, and it's not getting any cheaper. I've not seen the prices of any restaurant. I've not seen any prices go down. I have not. But again, when you pump $6 to $7 trillion over 30 months into the U.S. economy, and that's just what we know of, this genie is out of the bottle, ladies and gentlemen. Home values have fallen by over $100 billion this year. The commercial real estate market is coming apart like a cheap suit, ladies and gentlemen. And you think that this is not going to have repercussions on the U.S. economy and regional banks? You think that this issue with the regional banks is over when you have billions and billions and billions of dollars in commercial real estate that is coming due, loans coming due that are not going to be paid. And people right now are bouncing on hotels, they're bouncing on office buildings, they're handing the keys back. And there are hundreds of millions of dollars owed on each one of these buildings. And this is just the start. Banks are about to report the biggest jump in loan losses since the health crisis, as borrowers are going to continue to feel the pressures as interest rates continue to rise. 99.9%, we're getting a hike this month. Get ready. And what does that mean? Well, it means you're going to pay more to borrow money, more to borrow for that used car, new car, more to borrow to buy a house. That credit card at 22% you're paying right now, guess what? It's going up. It's going up. Debt slaves are going to pay more, ladies and gentlemen. Here's another one right here that I want to talk about. I'd love to get your opinion on this. From The Hedge, waiting for buyers to come. Unsold electric vehicles piling up in car dealership. Are you going to buy an electric car this year or next year or ever? I'm going to do everything in my power to never buy one. I don't like them. I don't believe in them. I think they're terrible for the environment. I think they're just... Honestly, I think most of them are very ugly, and I have no desire to buy an electric car or to drive an electric car. The number of unsold electric vehicles at dealers in the second quarter tripled compared to the past year. Again, comment down below. Are you buying one? Have you bought one? Do you like it? Do you hate it? They just do not appeal to me whatsoever, and I think that we're going to see big trouble in the EV market also, because I think most Americans agree they don't like them either. I want to finish with these last two articles. And this article, again, regarding Russia, says here, Russia issues warning about U.S. banking system. Russia has literally become immune to the U.S. sanctions, and it is now enhancing its sovereignty. Take a look at what has happened, what has transpired in our banking system this year alone. We had the worst banking crisis since 2008, if not worse than 2008. While imposing sanctions, the U.S. demolished the global trade system and caused an inflation surge. So while Russia is producing all this oil and selling it all over the world, we have banks collapsing. Now our dollar is sinking. And now we've demolished the global trade system. Russia's currency has gotten stronger. The economy's gotten stronger. They're selling tons of oil. And they have more sovereignty. The Russian banking system is feeling much safer today, and the U.S. sanctions will have a boomerang effect, meaning it's going to come back to haunt us. My biggest fear, ladies and gentlemen, is payback. This weaponization of the dollar, the sanctions, the wars, all the military bases, and I'm not here to get political. It doesn't matter if you're left, right, in the middle. We are purely talking about the economics of this. Oil is economic. It is money. Sanctions, it's economic. It's money. They didn't work. They're not going to work. And now Russia is probably more independent and more powerful than it has ever been, thanks to the U.S. and these sanctions. We're going to completely disrupt the global trade system. These countries like Saudi Arabia and the BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Latin America, you name it. They're all going to go to this new system. And my concern is the payback that America is going to see, because I don't think America is going to be accepted to the new club. And I think that we've created a lot of enemies out there. And what happens when these countries begin to cut us off, where they go, you're not getting your pharmaceuticals, you're not getting your titanium, you're not getting these rare earth minerals, you're not getting your EV batteries, you're not getting what we once gave you. America still believes it's the America of 50 years ago. We're not. We're much, much weaker. And we're getting much weaker. And of course, the country is so divided, and the morality in this country is collapsing. And to finish with this last article, disturbing video shows knife-wielding nut trying to carjack New York City man. This is, again, another startling reminder of where we are at morally in this country. A Lyft driver was stabbed. The victim, Yadav Kumar Dungal, I believe his name is. People said that he was the nicest guy you could ever meet, a perfect gentleman. So he's stabbed, and this lunatic jumps out of the car and tries to carjack some other people, and then jumps off of a bridge. He has been detained. He has been arrested. Now, the victim, I don't know if he's alive. But it's another sad reminder, another wake-up call that you have to be really, really careful, and that society is breaking down. And, you know, people continue to make these videos, you know, being braggadocious and laughing that they're going to buy a house half off, and they're going to buy, you know, commercial real estate, and they're going to do this and they're going to do that, and right off into the sunset. These people are going to be wetting their pants the deeper we get into this depression. The society breakdown that we're seeing is really hitting close to home. It's I'm sure hitting your neighborhoods or your areas, your cities, your towns. You know, we live in a nice area out here, and it's hitting very, very close to home. The amount of crime in some of the nicest areas out here in the desert, I mean, it's very, very common. And I'm sure most of you can relate. If you live in Westwood or Beverly Hills, Santa Monica, Malibu, parts of Orange County, there's crime, and it's rising. I mean, in Los Angeles, you can't even wear a nice watch because you are really taking your life in your own hands. Same thing driving a nice car. In LA, you're taking a risk. And it's really sad that we're at this place now here in the United States of America while we're still in stable times. And again, I say this literally every day. What's this going to look like as the economy continues to collapse? Now, somebody will go, oh, no, it's fine because the stock market's up today. The stock market's up this year, so everything's fine. Is it? Crime is skyrocketing. We have homelessness everywhere. People can't save money. The average new car, $48,000. People are falling behind, more credit card debt than ever. 42% of this country doesn't have $400 saved up. 12% of this country has no money saved up. The average student loan borrower owes $40,000. Auto debt, what are we looking at? I don't have the number on hand, $1.5 trillion, 15,000 repos a day. You really think that this is a good economy? You think that this is a stable economy? You're out of your mind. You are drinking the Kool-Aid, my friend. Wake up. There's no way in hell anybody is going to tell me things are okay. I just look at what's happening in society alone, and you know we got a problem. We have a mental health crisis in America. We have a drug epidemic in America. We have empty office buildings, empty malls. We're going to watch a commercial real estate meltdown take place, and the housing market is next, ladies and gentlemen. Look, I frankly don't care if the Dow Jones goes to 50,000 points. You know what? It's not going to change anybody's life. It really isn't. Because at the end of the day, there's going to be more homeless people. There's going to be more empty buildings. There's going to be more businesses shutting down. Prices are going to continue to go up. The average person is going to hold more debt and have to service more debt. Your credit card will be average 25% APR. You know, where does it end, ladies and gentlemen? Where does it end? The prices are astronomical. I don't know how people are doing it at this point. And now we're going to look at problems now, I believe, with oil. As we're watching oil rise, the dollar weaken, and China and these OPEC nations are going to squeeze it. They're going to squeeze the screws to America now, and that is going to put a lot of pressure on the average American when we begin to get near $100 a barrel. We are far from getting back to normal, ladies and gentlemen. Big trouble is coming. You need to be preparing. Don't listen to these lunatics that tell you everything is okay. This isn't doom and gloom, ladies and gentlemen. This is just the truth. This is just reality, everyday news. And it's even on mainstream news. You read it. They're telling you between the lines what's going on. 1 minute they're propping up the markets on the television here, and the next minute, you know, they're telling you that you know, get ready for $100 a barrel oil. Go buy a house, though. Go run up your credit card. Go spend. Go shopping. Everything will be fine. But don't worry that you might lose your job tomorrow. Don't worry about that. Don't worry that you might be spending, you know, $5 at the pump again. Don't worry about that. You gotta really begin to worry, ladies and gentlemen, because if you don't and you just ignore this, you're not going to take action. I'm going to leave it there today. I don't want to rant. But comment down below about any of this. Love to know your thoughts on this and your opinions on this and any advice you want to give. People are always looking for advice. In fact, before I leave, somebody wrote, I didn't have a chance to get to this, but they're elderly and handicapped. What type of preparations would you recommend? This is a really good question for somebody elderly and handicapped. So think about that. If you could give any advice to that person, I would love to know what you think. Elderly and handicapped, what could they do? What are a couple of things they could do to prepare right now? God bless every one of you. Thanks for watching. And as always, I look forward to speaking with each and every one of you. Have a great day.